Stolen breath. Join me as we take a look at the troubling legacy of police brutality against Black Americans. For centuries, a shadow has loomed over the promise of freedom and equality for Black Americans. A shadow cast by those sworn to protect, yet too often responsible for harm. It is a narrative etched into the very fabric of this nation. A story of stolen breath, shattered trust, and an enduring fight for justice against a system that has historically and disproportionately targeted Black lives. To understand the present, we must confront the past. The earliest forms of policing in the American South were not about maintaining public order for all, but about controlling a specific population of enslaved Africans. Slave patrols, established as early as the 1700s, were tasked with capturing runaways, preventing rebellions, and enforcing the brutal institution of slavery.
When slavery ended, the need for control didn't vanish. It simply transformed. Black codes and later Jim Crow laws were designed to maintain a racial hierarchy, and police forces became the enforcers of this new order. Their role was to keep Black Americans in a subservient position, to suppress their rights and their aspirations.
From vagrancy laws to segregation ordinances, the police were the instruments through which racial discrimination was codified and enforced. This established a deep-seated legacy of mistrust and fear within Black communities, a fear that would be passed down through generations. The civil rights movement of the mid-20th century brought the brutality into stark national focus. Images of peaceful protesters being beaten, hosed, and attacked by police dogs shocked the world, revealing the inherent violence underpinning racial inequality. While the explicit racial segregation of the Jim Crow era faded, the mechanisms of control evolved. The war on drugs in the 1980s and 90s, for example, disproportionately targeted Black communities, leading to mass incarceration and intensified police presence in neighborhoods already struggling.
I remember Rodney King. It was like, finally, people outside our community saw what we had been living with for years. The brutality, the lack of accountability, it was all laid bare.
In the age of smartphones, the once hidden realities of police brutality began to emerge from the shadows. Cell phone cameras became essential tools, capturing moments that had previously gone unseen, unacknowledged, and unpunished. Names became rallying cries. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. Each name represents a life tragically cut short, and each incident ignited waves of protest, forcing a national reckoning with systemic issues.
These individual cases, while horrific, are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a deeply ingrained problem, a culture, and sometimes policies that allow for the dehumanization of Black bodies and the excessive use of force without sufficient consequence.
Here are the sorrow-filled words of one woman who lost the love of her life to police brutality.
He was my everything. They took him from me. And for what? Every day is a struggle. Every day I wake up and that pain is just there. It never goes away.
The cost extends far beyond the lives lost. It inflicts deep psychological trauma on families, friends, and entire communities. The constant fear, the anxiety, the profound sense of injustice. These are wounds that fester, impacting mental health and overall well-being. In the face of systemic injustice, a powerful movement has emerged. From the grassroots activism of Black Lives Matter to calls for legislative reform, the demand for accountability and change is resounding across the nation. The path forward is multifaceted. It involves legal battles, legislative reform, and a fundamental shift in the culture of policing. It also requires sustained community engagement, fostering trust, and investing in alternatives to traditional policing that address root causes of crime. This is not just a Black issue, it is an American issue. The pursuit of justice for Black Americans is intrinsically linked to the pursuit of justice for all. It demands empathy, education, and a collective commitment to dismantling the structures that perpetuate harm. And we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge and express gratitude to those law enforcement officers who are unwavering in honoring their commitment to protect and serve civilians with benevolence and integrity in all communities. The struggle for stolen breath continues, but so too does the unwavering spirit of those who refuse to let the past define the future. Their voices, their pain, and their resilience echo through history, calling for a day when the promise of liberty and justice for all is not just an ideal, but a lived reality for every American. If you enjoyed this content and found it beneficial, please consider subscribing. It is completely free. Please hit that like button, and please feel free to leave a comment. Your words may inspire someone else. Keep being blessed. There is no other option.